I'm Abe Peck, Editor-at-Large for Inside Unmanned Systems. We're here with Scott Newbern, who's Vice President and Chief Technologist of what is now AV. And AV has this new slogan, all domain dominance.
That's correct.
What do you mean?
It's just like it sounds. So the great thing about the bringing together of Blue Halo, Legacy Blue Halo and Legacy AeroVironment is the portfolios really expand the capability of both companies. So we're expanding our efforts in space, we're expanding our efforts in undersea and maritime, and as the slogan says, all domain capabilities and all domain dominance. So the portfolios really represent very unique capability, I think, in the industry and maybe even in history on the ability to bring this kind of opportunity together. There's an element of that which is diversifying our portfolio, right? Being able to be more responsive to our customer sets across all of defense, but as well, there are still synergies, and in most cases, bringing teams like this together, we leverage those synergies, and even in the product space, there's a lot of capabilities where we can put things together and come up with new opportunities, new capabilities that we could exploit that probably wouldn't have been there before.
So you can go wide and go deep.
Yeah, very much so.
And you have now some of the stats on the site, just for more in the AV space, or the AeroVironment space. You have 35,000 vehicles worldwide, and maybe we should talk about a couple of those. And see how they've
I wish we could talk about flight hours, but we don't always.
And it's how many millions of them?
Yeah, we don't always get to talk about flight hours because we can't always get access to the data. But yeah, 35,000 systems, and at one point, at least just in the U.S. Army, we were crossing 2 million flight hours. So to expand that and kind of extrapolate into the across like all of our customers.
It's like that national debt counter in New York that goes like this.
We're definitely in the millions and millions of hours.
So let's talk about a couple of the vehicles then. Switchblade?
Yeah. So Switchblade continues, leading the forefront of loitering munitions. Kind of we're the pioneer there, and continue to be leading the market.
And then Puma, the various versions?
Yeah, Puma is, trying to remember, maybe 2008 or so is when we first launched Puma, and that seems like, hey, maybe it's antiquated or whatever, but we always have continuous improvements and upgrades, and so in the Puma family, there are a number of things we've done over the years that improve its basic, performance characteristics in its ISR operation, from endurance to payload capability and mission capability. We have a VTOL kit, which is provides an additional launch and recovery method that allows you to take off and land vertically. We have what's called the autonomy retrofit kit, which is a huge leap forward in mission capability, but it allows people who already have a Puma to add this capability and add additional mission autonomy, which gives you things like GPS denied navigation, mission autonomy to be able to go find and track targets autonomously, the ability to provide autonomous overwatch and sensor to shooter queuing. And then in the largest side of the Puma family is the Puma LE, which is a longer endurance variant that is uses a lot of the same components, but is kind of a much larger system.
No, I saw the ARC, over at the booth, and it's it really just is a little tiny thing, and it increases the capabilities of the Puma. And well, let me ask you this. Obviously, it's a new administration, and and there's new priorities. Without going into what your take is on Replicator or this one or that one, but how do you stay nimble? Because you have so many products.
Oh, that's a really good question. I'll say that our heritage is in kind of being at the forefront of these capabilities and kind of trying to think ahead of and with our customers. Like thinking ahead is maybe just helping our customers think into where the capabilities should be going. I like to call it sleep in the dirt. But it's getting our teams out and working hand in hand and side by side. In some cases, actually operating the missions with our customers so that we really understand what they're trying to accomplish. And from that, we internalize that, feed it back into our systems. That allows us to have both evolutionary upgrades, incremental improvements in our systems, but also allows us to kind of think like the customer thinks and say, hey, here's the next thing we should be working on, and allows us to actually invest and work on those things maybe 2 to 5 years before they actually are ready for market deployment.
You can both serve and lead. What are there any, without giving away any business secrets, are there any big trends that you're following?
Again, without going down the political route, I'll say, our portfolio and much of what we do is very well aligned with the priorities of the current DoD, and that's not by accident, right? Those, like as you said, like how do you stay relevant and on top of this, is we're thinking about those things ahead. So we're kind of like, when the need comes, we're prepared. Remind me again, what was your specific question?
How are you maximizing the key trends that you see?
Oh, key trends, yeah. So back to the key trends again. The biggest thing from my standpoint is autonomy and independent system operations. So basically pushing operations and autonomy as far to the edge as possible. And I think having a mentality that when you develop systems, that is the mindset you're developing from. You're not like, we have a bunch of Puma legacy systems out there, so autonomy retrofit kit makes sense, right? But in our next generation product, like a Puma 550, or some of the things in our McCready Works group that we're working on, we're really thinking about driving the autonomy from the very start, and understanding that those missions are going to be more independent of human operator interaction from from the very start.
So it's not a feature; it's a core.
Yeah, it's going to be table stakes.
Right. Yeah. Well, great. And what do you hope to get out of this event? Truth in lending, I am on the AUVSI board. Oh, okay.
So I'm a huge supporter of AUVSI and their mission, and it is well worth the membership price for a company to be an advocacy member. So me personally, interacting with our industry and our partners and our customers at this show is part of it, but there are advocacy efforts that are going on and meetings taking place that normally would happen as part of the AUVSI advocacy efforts. So I'm attending those and participating in those while I'm here. That's another personal interest. And then for the company in general, this is a great place to do recruiting. So that's a pretty big focus of what we do when we're here.
So that's your synergy.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
No, all domain dominance.
All domain, we started there and here we go. Go back to all domain dominance. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your new title.
Thank you.